All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This is the Fox Raceway 1 National Post-Race Press Conference for the 250 class. We have our three podium finishers from this afternoon. Jet Lawrence, who took the win today. Jeremy Martin, who finished in the runner-up spot. Justin Cooper rounded out the podium in third. We also have Michael Mosiman, who just missed off on the podium, tied for the spot with Justin and finished fourth. Strong day all around for you guys. I'll start with you, Michael. You talked about being really excited about to start this season. When we had our conference on Tuesday, you were really excited about the bike. You were confident that you had a good machine under you and that it was going to allow you to perform well. You were there all day. You were in the mix. You were there with these three and you were in the hunt all day. How was your day? And, are you happy with how you got the 21 season off?
I don't know if I was there all day. I qualified P15. So, yeah, I think, I don't know if I said on the press conference, but I've been telling people that I kind of anticipated being pleasantly surprised with just how good my bike handled and where that would put me. And, yeah, I mean, I kind of, got on to Jet there, a couple laps into the first round or first moto and just was flowing. Like it was just coming easy and the bike was really just sick and fitness was pretty good. Made a couple mistakes on the day, but overall quite pleased. So it's it's really nice when you got your bike and you're really happy with it.
Nice. We'll move on over to you, Justin. You mentioned on Tuesday that there was a little bit of potential Supercross hangover. Not really sure how quickly you would acclimate. Your first moto probably wasn't exactly what you're looking for, but you bounced back in a big way, got the start you needed in Moto 2 and led most of it. You and Jeremy kind of took control early on and faced it to the late stages there. You come home with a third overall. Are you satisfied with your day? You happy with how it started? And, kind of what is your outlook now that we start moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. I've heard a lot about this Supercross hangover and I was kind of worried about it. So I got right into training for outdoors, but yeah, the first moto was kind of embarrassing for me. I kind of just fell back and I pulled it together there at the end because I didn't really I was going back to like 12th area. So I pulled it together, got up to the top 5 and yeah, the second moto got up front and, that was pretty good for me. Just tried to run the pace for as long as I could. And those guys were definitely, all over me. And it was a different sounding bike every lap. So it was a good battle. And I'm really pleased with how the day went. It started off pretty mediocre, but yeah, by the end we were able to find our flow. And yeah, I think we're going to be right there with these guys. And just can't let the points get too, opened up. We're already down 11, so definitely got to close that up going into next weekend if we want to, shot at this title, and that's what we're here to do. So going into next weekend, it's a good track for me. I won there last year, and try to get back up there on the top step.
Awesome. Jeremy, moving on to you. You and Jet, this could be, potentially a preview of what we see all year long with the two of you going at it. I think, you got to be proud with how you started. You had a great first moto. I mean, you had a great second moto all in all. I'm sure, maybe you wished you kind of got around Justin sooner potentially so you could maybe kind of hang on with Jet there, maybe make a run late. But all in all, I think you are you're the most experienced guy in the class. You got the titles to your resume. I think everybody considered you to be the favorite, even though, I know you're coming off an injury and you admit yourself that maybe you're not totally 100%, but taking that into consideration and factoring in your shoulder and everything else, how are you feeling with how the day went and your outlook on the rest of the season?
Yeah, the day was solid. I was a little bit worried in the second practice session. I actually looped out in a turn. There's a pretty big kink entering into it, and I came in hot. I looped out, and I was like, man, I'm like pretty good at my turns, and I completely squirreled out. But yeah, I got a good start in the first moto. And then just kind of put my head down and I was like kind of looking around for Jay Coop and all the contenders really. And yeah, like I was just like, all right, we need to focus forward and race the track. And was able to get the win in that one and regroup for Moto 2 and got a better start. And then Justin and I were like, we were 1 and 2 there. I was trying to get him, but he's going really fast, and he was pretty smart. He switched some lines that really made it kind of tough on me.
Oh, all right. Got your connections a little rough there, Jeremy. We'll come back to you if you can hear me.
And
We'll
then
come back to
Jet
you.
came.
Better? Yeah, we'll come back to you, buddy. Thank you. Sorry about that. Jet, we'll move on to you. You know, big day for you. Started off fastest in practice. I think that, you know, that kind of sets the tone. You kind of know where you're at, kind of know where you want to be. I know you did mention that anybody can do one fast lap, but you backed it up. You know, you didn't get a great start in this first moto, but you battled through the field, carved through the pack, got up there at the end, made a run. You know, even got a little run on Jeremy there to close the gap good. Second moto, got the start you needed, and, you know, went to work and, you know, ended up pulling out the win. Is it the track? Do you just love Pala? Is this like your spot? I mean, what's the special magic with this track? And are you just feeling like this is your step to becoming that legit title contender and being there every week for the rest of the season?
Yeah, my day went pretty smoothly in practice, like you said, going P1, and I also said anyone can do a fast lap, so it didn't really mean too much. But yeah, first moto, I didn't give myself very good hopes of a podium at least. But yeah, I ended up carving my way through in the third, and then Bolin had some bad luck with bike malfunction, so I ended up going to second. I could still see Jeremy up there, so I kind of put up a little bit of a charge, but I didn't want to overdo it and make a silly mistake like I feel like I would used to. I'd probably go and send and end up weeding myself. But this kind of kept my same pace, and I ended up closing the gap a little bit. But I'm like, oh, that's good to know, like where he's at, where I'm at. So yeah, and then going in the second moto, I was just like kind of hoping to get a better start, at least be in top 10, because I know I can charge my way to the front after that first moto. And sure enough, I think I was in, I don't know, 8th or something. I can't quite remember, but yeah, made my way through in the third, and it took me a while to kind of figure out what the two star boys were doing up front. It was they were both really on it. I couldn't get close enough at first to kind of like read where their lines were and kind of like study him a little bit. But J-Mart ended up making a little mistake in one spot, so I was able to kind of capitalize on that and get close enough to kind of watch what he's doing, because obviously he has the most experience out of everyone in the class right now, so it's good to learn from him. And end up getting the pass done with like a few laps after that, which is really good. And then I kind of set my eyes straight on the Cooper and caught him fairly quick. Thankfully, I think he might have made a mistake, but and then end up getting the pass done on the same lap as I got J-Mart, which is really good. But no, Pala's a good track. It was really square edge and technical today, so I feel like it kind of helped me a little bit. But no, today I just felt really good. I feel like if it was at any other track, it would have been the same. I felt like I just felt really good on the track and felt really strong, because I've been putting the work in. So I'm glad to see that's actually kind of paying off. So I can't wait for next weekend to hopefully maybe do something similar.
Nice. We'll open up to the media. Darkside, we'll start with you.
Justin, I'll go to you first. Track was pretty brutal. I don't even know how you could find a good setting for the way the track was today, but what's something that you and your mechanic, maybe Josh, can take away to improve for next week? Was there anything that, you just picked up on that, can get better next week?
Yeah, we're trying to stay right now with the setting that we know, and where we ended up last year is kind of where we are now. So just trying to not change the bike that much and be, adapt to the track and stuff like that. Because I think once I start looking too much for something better, it kind of just, it's like a downhill effect for me. So just stick to what we know. And we made a little change right after practice going into the motos. It was pretty deep and the track was pretty tough. So just wanted to calm the bike down a little bit. But other than that, we're trying to stick to the plan of just keeping the bike the same and adapting to what we have at the tracks. Yeah, if it's really bad, then we'll make a major change. But today the bike was solid, and I kind of did adapt to it from Moto 1 to Moto 2, and just rode a little bit better in the second moto. So looking to carry that into next weekend and, give these guys more of a fight.
Awesome. Thank you.
Let's go to Trent. Go ahead.
Thanks. I'll send this one over to Jeremy. Jeremy, your preseason before you started motocross, in Minnesota on the East Coast. We know you're an East Coast guy. I like those tracks. What did you find of today's circuit? It looked like it put a lot more of that silty soil on top, and it looked like it got pretty rough. How did you find the track and the conditions here on the West Coast?
It was good. It was, obviously there was definitely some soft bumps out there, but there was definitely some Southern California chop mixed in there as well. And I'll tell you what, I saw a couple chuck holes at the end in Moto 2, and I was like, God bless. They're not very fun to hit for 30 plus too. So, kind of a mix of soft stuff, but a lot of pretty nasty chop.
Awesome job. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Cool. And let's move to Nick.
Yep. So let's go to Michael. Michael, just before you spoke about being presently surprised with how you've got the bike and the area you've got it, does that reflect back to your results today, or is this result where you predicted yourself to be? Where do you go with that?
I don't know. I think it's all related. I think my tendency in like past series, honestly, I don't know the last like series I came in fully healthy. And, even into Supercross, like I hurt my hand, and like, I don't know. So just having a good string of health. I haven't had a lot of big injuries, but just like small little ones. So I think that plays a part in it. And then I think the bike plays a big part, but expectation wise, like I was, talking like, oh man, we're set. But I definitely had doubts and like just being real and like, man, where are we at? And then you go qualify P15, you're like, okay. And I remained confident and I was like, yeah, I'm going to show up on the line and get this thing done. But I guess pleasantly surprised with some of like the ease of like how it came. Like I wasn't fighting, like I fought hard obviously and really was charging, but it was just flowing. And so I attribute a lot of that to the bike. My bike just is so good. And even like, Supercross and now riding outdoors, I feel like I crash less too. Like it's just set up well to where I'm confident and I hit my marks and it's good.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Kellen, let's go over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Kellen Brower with Racer X. This is for Jet Lawrence. In that first moto, when you're as far back as you were, do you kind of like look over ahead on the track and say like, oh, this is more or less a position I want to get up to? Or are you just taking it one rider at a time that entire time as you're going through the field?
I obviously look up a little bit just to kind of judge like if I'm losing time or gaining time with going through some other riders and making some passes. But I try to stay fairly present and just kind of look at okay, if I get this person, how much time do I make up or how much time do I lose? I kind of it just whatever's the situation is, I kind of like it changes. I'll look up in certain spots. Okay, the leaders are there, and then I'll put my head down and rear end up and keep charging for another few laps, and I'll check again. Okay, I've closed the gap. Well, crap, I lost some time. I gotta make that back up. But no, I try to stay fairly present, and every now and then I'll just look up just to kind of check where the leaders are.
Awesome, thanks.
Cool. Let's go to you, Dockside.
Jeremy Martin, we've heard, hints that you might have had some physical ailment you've been kind of concerned with that you didn't know how it was going to affect you. How was that today? You feel better after the race today than maybe going in? Or, what are your thoughts on your health as far as what we were hearing?
Yeah, I was a little bit, obviously I've done a lot of riding and a lot of motos to try to get the shoulder back up to snuff. But I was pretty pumped on today. It's definitely a little sore and it aches today right now, but yeah, it held up pretty strong in the motos. Some of that stuff some of that stuff out there was some pretty big holes and stuff. And yeah, I stayed strong, and see if we can keep it together here for the whole season.
Hey, Jeremy, I heard a rumor that you did like 24 motos in a week. Is that true?
I don't know. I do. Let's just say I rode a lot.
Okay.
For
sure. Weeze, let's go over to you.
Yeah, thanks. Jason Wygant from Racer X. This is for Jet Lawrence. You said in this press conference and on the podium that you're trying to show people that you work hard. You're not just a kid with talent. Can you talk about that? Is that something you're hearing and you're trying to correct, or why do you keep hitting that point?
Sorry, say again. I wasn't listening. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Got time now. You mentioned on the podium, and I think in this press conference, that you're not just a kid with talent, that you put in the hard work. Can you explain why you want to get that point out there?
I kind of want to, I wanted to get the point out there because I am so young. I'm definitely, I feel like I'm being gifted I'm very lucky of my gift right now and how I can ride a bike. But I feel like most people mainly see me as a kid just with talent, more like a James Stewart. He came in with heaps of talent and that stuff. But I want to show that, hey, I just don't ride my bike and not train. I put in the work. As you guys see, I got to train a Johnny O'Mara, and J Mart will understand also that he's a gnarly man. He still puts a whooping on us on a mountain bike. But no, I just want people to know that I'm not a slouch. I just don't go and ride my bike and show up to the weekend, just wish for the best. I put the time in and I make sure I do so I can get results like this on the weekend.
Cool. Alex Gobert, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Alex Gobert, MotoOnline.com. This one's for J-Mart. We saw last year you were on the Honda and in the title fight. This year you're back on the Yamaha. So what was it like being back on the bike? Was it everything that you kind of, thought it would be being back on the YZ?
Hey guys, I'm kind of in a rough spot on the road, so my service isn't the best. So if it's not working, just let me know. But yeah, it's Yamaha's good. It's obviously really fast. It's just a different bike. Like I kind of learned how to ride the Yamaha or the Honda, and I kind of had to relearn how to ride the Yamaha and how to hit some turns and stuff a little bit different. So I really like the Yamaha. I'm happy with it, and I just got second today and just need to work on getting better. That's
right on.
Really about
Thanks,
all.
well done.
Yeah.
Let's go to you, Dark Side.
Michael, I want to ask you this track again, West Coast, you're going to be going out east, shortly. Do you feel like this track was a true judge or a true test of how the rest of the season is going to be, where you're at, how the bike works, or is it sort of not necessarily a one-off, but not really a true test?
That's it's great question. So I think the track, honestly, like it definitely had its California characteristics, but for me, that was the best Paula I've seen in a while. And just the way it shaped up, and I thought it was pretty rough. I thought it was pretty racy. I thought, well, some sections were like, just survive this. But, I thought there was a lot of good passing and line selection, and I really enjoyed that. And so, I expected it honestly to be a lot more one line than it ended up being. And I think it's less so that the track may be deceiving as far as like a true test for how the season goes, but more so it's like the first round. And there's a lot of guys that kind of just mail it in on the first round and just like get into it and get their feet wet. And so I think that might be the deceiving thing as far as like guys that are really going to come alive and are going to end up more on this post race thing.
All right. Thanks, man.
Trent, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Gonna go to Jet on this one. Jet, we're watching at the end of the race there. You're quite emotional with that victory. I mean, you've won an outdoor overall before, but just explain to us sort of that emotion and why it came out and run us through what was going through your head at that point in time.
I think everything has hit me at once, like kind of all the hard work that I've been putting in and just all the training we've been doing and this is like it's what we work for mainly is to go out, get good results and hopefully come away with red plate. And it didn't hit me until I hit the finish line, which is really cool because I've been working my butt off to try and get that. And it's cool to finally have that. And now Hunter can't give me crap at all about he had red plate and Supercross. So I got him back there. But no, it's just a good feeling. And it's hopefully I can keep it for the rest of the season. But I know J Mart and the boys are gonna make it hard for me this season. But I'm gonna make sure I stay on my toes and make sure I give it back to him.
Right on. Thanks, man.
Alex Gobert.
Yeah, thanks. I'll keep it with Jet. When you look back and think of today, what moto for you was, obviously winning is what you're there for, but that first one to come from 17th at the end of lap one all the way through to onto the podium. When you look back, was that just as important as that second moto victory?
That first moto was just a good kind of sign of relief, I could say. Was like that I came from way back and pulled them all in. I think I was 16 seconds down from Volan at one stage and when he was leading. So it just kind of took not pressure off, but it just kind of enlightened me a little bit that I was able to come back and catch all of them and even J Mart. So and that second one, I just knew if I could get a good start, I'm like, I feel like I could win this if I get a good start. And sure enough, I got a decent start and I was able to do that. But no, I feel like that first race was special because it just gave me that confidence going into the second one, going, hey, I can win this next one if I get a decent start. So yeah.
Cool, thanks.
Nick, go ahead.
Righto. Let's keep it with Jet as well. Jet, just before you just said having the red plate for the next round, as we know, or people say it all the time, the red plate can get heavy, things can happen. Coming from today's race, what are the things you need to change or you need to work on during this week to make sure next weekend is just as much as a success as this one?
Nothing really. I just got to keep it the same. If you change something when you're doing good, I don't understand why you would. If something's not broken, why would you try and fix it? So I'm just going to keep doing the same thing that I've been doing all this these last few weeks going into this, and just keep my just stay on the ground, not get too big headed, I would say, and make sure it's doesn't get too much weight on my shoulders with the red plate and that stuff. But hey, it's same bike, this with some red backgrounds. Doesn't really matter much right now. It just matters at the end of the season if you still have it at the last round. So yeah.
Absolutely. And finally, how long does it take to give away 100 donuts in a morning?
I don't know. I hope quickly. I hope fast.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
No problem. Have a good one.
Dark side over to you.
I'll go with Justin on this one just real quick. If history is any proof, the Yamahas typically seem to have the most horsepower of all the 250s. Going to elevation next week. Any added confidence or anything like that for next week?
Well, yes. I think any track that you've won on, you're excited to go to, and yeah, our bike is definitely excels there, I feel, and I just gel with that track. That's kind of like I love going there. I like everything about it. So it's one of those tracks to look forward to, and definitely looking to give it a good fight for the win. Definitely was a good day though. I'm really stoked on how it went and how I turned it around. So going into that track, definitely excited and definitely one I look forward to on the calendar for sure.
Fantastic. Good luck.
Thanks.
Alex.
Yeah, we'll keep with Justin. How important is it for you to start the season with a podium? I think, just getting those points early, starting off on the right foot, like you said, coming off of a Supercross championship. Yeah, how important is it to set that platform early?
Oh, it's huge. It's definitely huge. And that was my goal coming into this. Obviously, I want to win, but with the way I rode today, that wasn't going to happen. So the first moto, I kind of I don't know what was going on, but I was just going backwards. So came around about halfway through, and I kind of had to talk myself like, what are you doing out here? Like you can't be doing this if you want to be a title contender. So yeah, would like to redo the first one, but was glad to turn it around for the second one, and at least battle with those guys for a little bit. And they were keeping the pace hot for sure, and just didn't have the right lines in a couple sections, and those guys got me in the same section. So I would say that's my bad side of the track, but felt really good on the bike, and especially in that second moto. And it was a good rebound from the first one, and really just looking to give those guys more of a fight, like I said.
Awesome, well done.
All right, that'll wrap it up, everybody. Thanks for our 250 guys. Got the 450 guys coming soon, but 250 guys, thank you. Congrats on your performances today, and we'll see you next week in Thunder Valley.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.